James Francis Cameron, one of the highest grossing directors of all time, the man behind some of the most iconic films of all time, and above all else, the wettest filmmaker in the business. Not only do I mean that by his obsession with water, but also how much he loves these blue people, and nobody loves them as much as he does. So why am I talking about it? Avatar: Fire and Ash comes after a much shorter gap than the one between the first and second films, but despite what some people are saying, this gap has not affected the big draw for these things. It's still breathtaking to look at, and seeing this already big and beautiful world be further explored really does transport you into this setting in a way that not many other movies can. But man, do these udders feel dry. So to get this out of the way, I'm not an Avatar fan, and I'm not an Avatar hater. I've just seen them. My only takeaways from the first one were, boy does this look good, and how is it so boring? I felt a bit more positive about the second, but let's be real, when you're working with a lead like Jake Sully, spending less time with him in any capacity is already going to be an upgrade. But even though I still wasn't crazy about The Way of Water, it was at least something, whales and whatnot. So I was kind of looking forward to this one. I like the look for the new Na'vi, and shit, that's kind of all there is going into one of these new ones, huh? And I thought this thing worked pretty well for a while. This is the fastest that one of these has hooked me. It helps that the last one ended off in the only interesting state that this franchise had ever been in, but just as I thought, man, I might actually really like this one. The avatarness of it all just came crashing in. So the most notable things to me about these movies are how, without fail, the pacing can always be described in just 4 words. And then this happens. And come on, this is Avatar. Not a soul is going to this for the story, but I mean it when I say that these movies repeat scenarios way too much. The good guys are winning, but Jake or Neytiri gets injured, and oh no, one or more of the kids gets kidnapped again. It just gets really dull, and I cannot fathom that such a nothing script was given $400 million 3 times. But why it's so grating here when compared to the second one is because the characters had only just started to get interesting, and then they just stop to do the same stuff over and over again. Quaritch remains the most interesting character coming over from the second, but it feels like it takes an entire 3-hour movie just to develop him a little bit. But Stephen Lang is delivering the only fun performance that doesn't fall flat or feel forced, and I genuinely feel like he gets better at playing this character with every film. It's like the only thing that improves as they go on. Zoe Saldana is doing the same thing she did last time. Still really good, but not really breaking any new ground. The kids are the same. Kiri, the one played by Sigourney Weaver, is actually pretty interesting, but I find her voice so distracting, given that the character is a teenager, but she sounds like a 76-year-old woman, because she's played by a 76-year-old woman. And I know that she's supposed to be like a reincarnation, but also not, of her character from the first one, but just hire a younger actress, man. Even after watching an entire movie before this with her, it's still so distracting here. And then there's Spider, who's also, you guessed it, the same. But in his case, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because who doesn't love good old Spider, am I right? Am I right? Guys? Now listen, this character sounds like he was written without any of his lines getting a second thought. He's the kind of character to unironically say something like, "It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog." Because he did actually say that. But in the defense of Jack Champion, who plays him, look at what he's working with, man. I know that there's not a lot of spider heads out there, but between the amount of physicality he has to give and the dedication he puts into it, I can't hate. But I still cannot bring myself to like this character for the life of me, man. But a character that was very easy for me to get into was... the fuck is her name? Varang. I swear I did like the character, but you've got me dead if I'm gonna remember these names. She's the leader of the new Na'vi in this movie, the Ash Tribe, and man, I was really picking up what she was putting down. She's like a witch who does weird things and says even weirder shit, and she brings a sense of unpredictability that these movies need desperately for me. A strange new enemy who doesn't care who or what she has to burn down to get what she wants, a leader of people who aren't connected to the planet like all other living beings and feel resentment for the god, mother planet, what even is it? I don't even know. All in all, I really dug this character, and especially her relationship with Korich, essentially being his Neytiri. Every scene with them just grabs your attention, whether you want it to or not, and I was honestly eating it up, man. But you'd think that since she's the leader of the Ash Tribe, and that this movie is called Avatar: Fire and Ash, and she's the only one on the main poster, that she'd be a pretty big deal. Well, buddy, this is Avatar. You already know the final fight will just be pterodactyls ramming into hornets from Halo. You already know damn well that the characters are gonna fall off of their rides in slow motion. They're gonna say, "Sully, stick together. I see you." Shit, dude. It's one thing to repeat the same set pieces over and over again, but do we have to repeat the same lines too? They weren't that good to begin with. So the ending of this movie it's just the same as the last one. It's even centered on the whales. Again, what is it with these whales, James? And it gets so caught up in the ending that it settles on that it just forgets about Varang. Like, I don't know what happened to her at the end. Is she dead? Did she escape? Is she captured? I don't even fucking remember, man. She's the one on the poster. And by the end of this movie, the only actual change in the status quo that really affects the bigger picture of Avatar, besides the changed morals of whale society, is that there is now a biological, social, and spiritual reason for Spider to fuck the Sigourney Weaver Na'vi. You can't make this shit up, man. If you like Avatar, I sure hope you like seeing it again, because anything new or interesting is definitely on the back burner here unless you're a white boy with dreads or a whale. And if you don't like Avatar, this will do absolutely nothing to change that. And if you're like me, it was kind of just the last movie, but like a little different. And though it's incredibly well directed, looks great, if we just ignore the high frame rate, holy shit, why are we still doing this in 2025? And though the action is incredibly endearing and the design is just gorgeous, we've already seen all of this. And can something really be as beautiful the third time you see it as it was the first time? I guess it depends on the person, but for me, I can't help but wonder, what's the point of a franchise that only exists to purely be a spectacle when the written backbone is so weak that the investment only works on a first watch? And if this movie is so similar to the last, why would I seek out the next one? But hey, you're not me. Drop down what you think of Avatar: Fire and Ash in the comments, and tell me why you love Spider. Gotta love Spider, man.